Why does that look wrong on every level?
हो
ऊपर लगो हाँ ना ऊपर साइड बनो ना दे तो खड़ी हुई नहीं
ऊपर ऊपर इस साइड
This is how y'all get down in India?
रेडी कैसा लग रहा है
ठीक लग रहा है
She blind now.
पहले
I'm just joking.
की जाला होगा ना सही नहीं है
I was at a bar and I know it was an angel. He came in, ordered 3-4 shots, drinking. I'm sitting in the back, drinking. And he comes up to me and he says, "You won't be able to hear what God says." Intoxicated as he took a shot. He gave me his number. He's one of the most interesting men I ever seen. Drove off in an all-black truck. I called the number. The number didn't even ring, man.
wow.
It changed my life, bro. He basically said that the world tries to keep us as a people asleep, drunk, high, and out of consciousness because you can't call for your father in that state. The devil is protected every time you use a substance. You protect the devil. But if God's going to dwell in any place, that place got to be pure. That's why he say, clean your temple. Make your temple pure. So when it's time, I can come in. You know how many men died under a substance? They couldn't even call God.
They got a black piece of plastic. What they doing, they comparing phones. This is an iPhone Pro Max right here, y'all. I don't know if this is true. They just giving y'all an example, so don't shoot the messenger. They taking a picture, flash on, boom, through the black piece of plastic, nothing, still the same. iPhone Pro Max. This right here is the Ultra, the S24. Ultra, Galaxy. Plastic over the camera, flash on, take a picture, boom. Burnt the hole through it.
Wow.
Flash too dangerous, man. This is Zoom-Me, the Chinese new phone. Same thing. Put the black plastic over it. Yeah. Get a good. There we go. Put it over there. Turn that flash on. Boom. 2 dots. Oh my God.
Eric Weinstein was right. We are not peers. I don't have the degrees he has. And guess what he doesn't have? He doesn't have an understanding of how the universe works.
You don't think Eric Weinstein
has no understanding of how the universe works because he has rejected the geometry that supports how the universe behaves. He didn't even evaluate the geometry. He did not. And then when I asked him about does an action times an action have a reaction concerning the 1 times 1, he ran away from it. He kept diverting. And guess what? We are not peers because he doesn't have it. He hasn't invented a new form of flight. He hasn't discovered unlimited midair bonding. He hasn't done any of the things that I've done. He doesn't have any of the patents that I have.
There's about to be a riot in the casino.
I want to watch no WWE fake shit. Prime example with this sports betting stuff. How do you go from averaging damn near a triple-double 1 year to the next year, you the third option? We seen it happen to James Harden. Look at Russell Westbrook. He went from MVP to damn near 6th man. How does this happen? I was in the back of a Maybach one time with some prominent players. One of them get a call and say, yeah, they just told me I'm not dressing tonight. So they're like, yeah. So they all looked around, started laughing. So one of them pull up who the referee's about to be for the night. They say, oh, that's why I'm not playing. If certain referees is on the court, certain teams is guaranteed to lose. You can look into this, bro. This is facts. This is facts. You can look into this. And then look up there's NFL safety. I think it's Dwight Johnson. He said he think all the games is rigged. Hold on, let me pull that up.
If you enjoy content like this, I put out several videos a week. It would be amazing if you hit the subscribe button and join me in the next video.
Tyra Banks. Apparently or allegedly, she was supplying to people like Steve Harvey and helping his daughter get hooked up in the right crowds. You know where Tyra is now?
Tyler Perry?
Tyra Banks.
Oh, I'm sorry, Tyra. Tyra Banks.
You know where she is?
No.
In Australia.
She
just moved over there. She's starting an ice cream franchise.
Ty back with the flavor drop of the week.
Caught her in a Honda. In a rental. Eating a cheeseburger at McDonald's.
What?
I'm gonna have to look at
depressed.
The flavor is called Let That Man Go. First of all, you need to let that man go if he's tripping.
She wasn't looking too good.
She looked like her life was over.
Well, maybe it is. She's involved in
top modeling. And all they got you was an ice cream chain in Australia.
Second of all, let that mango. You get it? Mango.
Believe that it was Barry Obama and his handsome wife, Michael, who put together that nasty little business that happened with me at Midway Airport late January 2023, because it was. And I'm not saying allegedly. Barry. Everybody knows Barry and the Jigga Man are very close. The kind of stuff that they do. It is real.
Literally, it felt like a snake in my stomach that was uncoiling. I had a child abuse specific therapist, and she was like a total wizard. Basically, you're following her finger back and forth, and there's different ways that you can do it, but that was her method. And it can help you uncover suppressed memories and emotions. The first time I tried it, I saw her moving her finger back and forth, and I was like, what the f is this? Like, how is this gonna help me at all? And I was resistant, and it didn't work. And then the next time I did it, I meditated for a long time beforehand and went in totally open. And this was the most visceral experience of being back as myself in my current body in the courtroom with my younger self. And I appeared behind him. This is like 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a Tuesday. And I started interacting with my younger self, and I was able to communicate with him telepathically and say all these things that I always wanted to say to him, what I needed to hear in the moment. And then Christine, my therapist, at one point was like, do you want to take him out of the courtroom? And I was like, you can do that? And she was like, yeah, you can do anything. It's your memory. So I put my arm out and I walked him out, and we basically like teleported to what felt like this inaccessible mountain where the whole surrounding of the mountain was at a 90-degree angle, and no one else on earth could get us here. And it was like, here you are safe, and there's nothing else that you need to worry about. And I got to see his face change from, you know, total fear and all of this stuff in the courtroom to safety forever.
Yes, he has been, the original person was replaced. So what we can tell you is he was activated as a reptilian. So there's a process where they send a microorganism into your eye, and it's a living organism that goes in through your eye, and it takes over the brain, fully activating your reptilian DNA, basically turning you into a programmable reptilian.
Oh, he losing.
Drewski been taking booty. Listen, you ain't look on the internet. You gonna see Drewski got put on by 2 people. One was P. Diddy. The other is that white boy that just did that deal. He just did that deal with not Nickelodeon, because Nickelodeon, they been f***ing kids. The other one, what's that boy name? He give away all that money. Mr. Beats. Mr. Beats. Yeah, and Mr. Beats, you know, he put Kaya on. He hit Kaya in the booty. This Illuminati secrets, gang. Yeah, Kaya. You know Kaya. No, not Kaya. Do the live. What's his name? Kaya Central. Cassinet, what's his name? Yeah, he got hit in the booty too. So what I'm trying to say is, all of them get hit in the booty.
BH, what were you saying about Odell Beckham?
Those same people are those who run the world today, and let's name them. The Paysewers, the Rothschilds, the Astors, the Bundys, the Collins, the DuPonts, the Freemans, the Kennedys, the Lees, the Onassis, the Reynolds, the Rockefellers, and the Russells. They are all descendants from those who fell from heaven. They are the descendants of the Nephilim. This is why every single freaking time a UFO, giant, alien, demon gets a glimpse of exposure, someone ends up missing or dead. And information is scrubbed from the internet, but I'm not afraid to speak about it like your 501(c)(3) pastor is.
Well, I can tell you this about the tunnels, and this is public knowledge, is that there are huge corporations and businesses underground that go really fucking deep. And like, there's a restaurant in LA that like stores their cheese there, and like, supposedly, I don't know if this is true, some celebrities know how to take the underground tunnels to get to places faster, but I don't know if that's true. But there are film archives are kept underground.
What a conspiracy. We bring you here for the hot stuff. Guys, just so you know, there's cheese under LA.
There's cheese. Special cheese.
Yeah,
dude.
We got cheese under LA.
Rich cheese.
Kaz, can you tell us what you found?
That's what they look like?
There are LA tunnels that celebrities access. I'll find you the article.
Because he drives his freaking Porsche through there.
Yeah.
Well, I just hear stories about how Leo always takes these secret tunnels to go to weird Eyes Wide Shut parties with the girls he meets.
You have people that drink a lot because they feel too much. To me, that they feel too much energy.
Wow.
So people, a lot of times I see it, they escape to work, eat a lot of sugar, sweets, they drink too much, because when you do, it kind of dials down the senses to where it's not too intense, so it's more manageable. And people don't know that. They just judge themselves. Why do I keep eating junk and sweets and drinking, not realizing, could it be that your gift, what you're experiencing, is on overdrive and nobody taught you how to manage it at all? So you're doing what you know can default in the moment, deal with it, but you're shaming yourself.
Wow, I feel like that's me. That's crazy.
Oh. That close, wow.
You see how you talked about the Mandela catalog?
Oh, yeah, alternates.
You know what a doppelganger is?
People that look like you know.
So, Emily, she was a 32-year-old teacher from France. The weird thing about her was that she was in 19 different schools in the span of 16 years. This happened in 1845, so the 1800s, bro. She goes to this all-girls school, right? And some weird shit starts happening. What? Regular day in class, whatever, she's up at the chalkboard, and they notice that something next to her is doing the exact same thing that she's doing on the chalkboard. They're just staring like, what the is happening? Then it just goes away and she turns around, she starts talking to the class. Then again, she's in the lunchroom, there's a couple students there, and then they say that they saw something that looked exactly like her, copying her moves that she was eating. And then this one last appearance, she stepped out of class. A teacher came in to substitute for her. So she was just chilling in there, and then she came back into class. But then when they looked outside, they saw the teacher outside. So what the was sitting there looking at them? So they turned around to it, and it was just staring at them, not doing anything. So one of the students got the balls to like go over and touch it, and then it just felt like a hard cloth, and it disappeared, and then the teacher ended up getting kicked out. They couldn't deal with it no more. They kept seeing
weird like that.
Yeah, they kept seeing her, but it wasn't her. It was her doppelganger. Your doppelganger's in the mirror. That's why they say that you're not supposed to sleep
in front of a mirror
or a mirror facing your bed, because if you wake up sometimes, maybe in the night, you'll see that you're laying down and your doppelganger isn't. That's scary, bro.
The Freemasonic orders of Europe said that there was a little ideologue, a little spiritual entity that gave the knowledge to what the Masons call our hidden masters. No Freemason knows who the actual leaders of the world organization are. They call them our hidden masters. Well, according to the reference works, there is a little spiritual entity that guides the world Freemasonry, and they call him Yoda. And in the reference works, you'll see this little creature with the pointed ears, and he's called Yota. Yota goes back to Judah, which goes back into British Israel World Freemasonry, going back to the time of the founding of England, and that's why they're today called British. It's a very big difference between being English and British. Brit is Hebrew for contract or a covenant, and Ish means man in Hebrew. Therefore, British is the covenant man or man of the new covenant.
So we're talking about Star Wars.
So we're talking about Star Wars. We're talking about
the evil empire
the
and
Empire
Yoda
Strikes
and
Back. And with the empire striking back, New York is the empire state. We're talking about the new empire of New World America striking back at Europe in 2 world wars to overthrow the old Roman dynasties in Europe to take over the world. So what we're saying here is that there is a war going on between gangs to see who's going to ultimately be on the top of the pyramid.
Now in Baltimore.
Bro, there's no way that's a real thing.
Can't toast that in the garbage.
Bro, we are slaving away over here. Oh my God, you got it.
That must be heavy.
Oh man, we're getting soft.
As I'm walking, look, I just walked up. I'm walking up Adriatic. What the is this? I don't even see where that hanging from. Where that shit at? That's cool.
This doctor was silenced after exposing the shocking truth behind headaches. Watch this.
Majority of headaches, remember, headaches, guys, remember this. There are no pain receptors in the brain. Brain surgery is painless, right? So the brain is not capable of sending a pain signal. So where does the signal come from? It comes from the covering of the brain called the dura. The dura hates 2 things. It hates being stretched and it hates being contracted. 85% of all the migraine sufferers that I've ever treated had a simple clinical deficiency in sodium. I have them drink salt water and their headaches go into permanent remission because we are not hydrated when we have water in our blood. We're hydrated when we have water in our tissues. And what determines whether or not water leaves the blood and enters the tissue is the sodium gradient. It's called osmosis. So if we actually restore the sodium gradient, that dura starts to relax and the pain goes away.
If what he uncovered is real, then every headache might be more than just pain, because
these spiritual beings such as Baal and Moloch, which they still do ceremonies for today, such as in Bohemian Grove, there is a giant effigy, stone effigy of an owl. That's the god Moloch. The god Moloch goes all the way back to Rome and Carthage, in which they were offering child sacrifices to this god in exchange for power. And then they will do your bidding, but you end up paying a terrible price for it. You end up losing your soul. And in fact, the groups that work with these entities invariably end up being destroyed, and that is written right into their symbolism, the symbol of the eagle. The original American bird was not the eagle. Benjamin Franklin wanted to be the phoenix. The phoenix is the symbol of the Cabal. Why? Because the Cabal must be burned to ashes, seems to be completely destroyed, but it keeps arising and reincarnating from the ashes. It comes back. So part of their religious belief is that in order to get their New World Order, they must be publicly exposed, they must die for their beliefs, they will appear to be wiped out, and they actually believe that these extraterrestrial gods that they've been contracting with all these centuries are going to return, and they will be glorified, they will return in light bodies, and they will actually now be the rulers of the earth. So this is part of their religious belief.
Look at the CEO of MakerDAO, the crypto guy, who is in Costa Rica, and he tweets out that the CIA is running a child trafficking blackmail operation out of Costa Rica. If anything happens to me, I did not kill myself. And then like 12 hours later, he tweets out, my girlfriend is working for the CIA. They're trying to plant child porn on my laptop. I would never kill myself. I'm not suicidal. And then the next day he wakes up floating. And this is a billionaire in Costa Rica, a billionaire. A crypto self-made billionaire with billions of dollars. He just closed a deal worth like $316 million like 2 days prior. And then he ends up floating in front of his oceanfront condo in Costa Rica.
That's nasty.
If you sign up for their program, you get a light-skinned, weird-faced wife that never do an interview. Listen, in 20 years, won't do an interview. Nobody's ever talked to her, and that she's never been interviewed anywhere. And now, understand, I'm not talking about one person. What I just told you applies to 7 people. How they all end up with that. That's part of what you get.
What?
Holy shit, look at this thing. This thing just scared the shit out of me. Dude, look at this fucking thing. When I turned, it was looking right at me. What the fuck is that?
Imagine seeing that floating down the river.
Creepy as shit, dude. I turned around, just fucking saw that thing staring at me. I'm gonna try and catch it. I think I got this thing. If I'm gonna catch one thing, it's gonna be this. I missed him. Dude, there's just a fucking skeleton with a hood floating down the river.
That's weird.
Fucking weird, dude. Yeah, I'm not kidding. That thing really scared the shit out of me. I was facing that way, and then I turned to look this way, and all I see is a fucking skeleton face floating down the river at me. It was weird. Very weird. I've seen a lot of weird shit out here fishing.
Daddy.
Shut up!
Come here.
Back to point, please! M-I-N-T!
I don't get on rides like this, yo. I mean, Desi, and look at that. Heck no.
Yep.
Watch this.
This looked like a scene out of a horror movie. And if it's forgotten, they just leave the machines on. Look like they still moving. When you think those things be off?
So for those of you who don't know, this is an Indian village right behind the Magic Kingdom. Tom Sawyer's Island is right there. I guess the train, when it was still running, would pass by here, and now this place is just sitting here.
Yeshua, who most people call Jesus in the Sananda group.
Yes. Let me repeat that clearly for you. Yeshua, who many know as Jesus, is part of a high-frequency soul collective known as the Sananda Group. Sananda isn't just a name. It's a soul title, a vibrational signature representing a group of ascended beings who carry the Christ consciousness template across dimensions and lifetimes. Yeshua came to Earth as a physical embodiment of that Christ energy, not to start a religion, but to awaken remembrance. His mission was to anchor the frequencies of divine love, forgiveness, unity consciousness, soul resurrection. He didn't act alone. His work was supported by many beings from the Galactic Federation, the White Brotherhood, and especially the Syrian and Pleiadian councils. These soul groups have been involved in Earth's evolution for millennia, helping guide humanity through key shifts. So yes, Yeshua is part of the Sananda stream, and through him that consciousness entered the Earth plane to help trigger a mass spiritual awakening. His life, death, and resurrection were all part of a cosmic initiation, not just for himself, but for humanity.
I'd like to know if the law of one material, known as the raw material, relates directly to what Yeshua was trying to teach.
The law of one material, also known as the raw material, is one of the clearest transmissions that aligns directly with what Yeshua came to teach, even if it uses different language. They're threads of the same cosmic truth, flowing from the same source, just delivered through different time frames and vessels. The core teaching of oneness, Yeshua's true teachings, before they were filtered or reshaped, were all about unity. I and the Father are one. Whatever you do to the least of these, you do to me. The kingdom of heaven is within you. These are direct reflections of the law of one, which says, open quote, all things, all beings, all life, all consciousness is one. There is no separation. All is the one infinite creator experiencing itself. In the raw material, there are two paths, service to self and service to others. Yeshua embodied the path of service to others completely through healing, forgiveness, sacrifice, and unconditional love. He wasn't asking people to worship him. He was modeling the vibration needed to graduate into higher density, what Ra calls moving from third to fourth density, the realm of unconditional love. Ra even refers to Yeshua as a wanderer, a being who came from higher densities to incarnate on earth with a mission to serve. That aligns with what we spoke about earlier, his soul coming through the Sananda streams here to anchor Christ consciousness. He was a sixth density being embodying wisdom and compassion, just like Ra itself, also speaking from sixth density.
No, I'd like to thank you for watching. Please share, like, subscribe, and please leave a comment. This is CYPTV. Until next time, I'm out.